They tried to wipe me off the map with a $1,000 HOA fee just to get rid of my cattle. But what they didn't realize was that their community pool, 200-car parking lot, and even their precious welcome sign were sitting squarely on my land. And when I dropped a $2.5 million rent invoice on their protest leader's lap, she had a full meltdown, right there at the gate. Name's Caleb Morgan. I've lived on this ranch for over 40 years. My granddad bought this land in 1954, and every fence post, every survey pin was hammered in by hand. I've never had beef with the neighborhood folks until the Stonebrook Hills HOA came knocking. Or rather, until Karen Ashcroft came marching in like she owned the state of Texas. It started with a flyer. Emergency HOA meeting. Topic: public health risks from neighboring ranch. I nearly spit out my coffee. My cows had become a threat? Curious, I showed up that night, sitting quietly in the back. Karen stood front and center like she was running for governor, waving some half-baked PowerPoint around, talking about methane exposure and psychological distress from visible livestock. Then came the kicker, her proposal. Raise HOA dues to $1,000 a month to create a legal fund to eliminate the nuisance. And wouldn't you know it, 38 of the 52 homeowners voted yes. Most looked terrified, eyes darting around like kids in detention. But Karen looked smug, like she'd just hunted something. Next morning, I get a certified letter. 73 violations. 73, from visual pollution to negative aesthetic influence. My personal favorite, cows visible from sidewalk, detrimental to community wellness. I called my lawyer of 20 years, Dale Riggins, told him, "Dale, they just declared war." He laughed and said, "Remember what your granddad used to say, sometimes the best ammo is paperwork." So I poured a fresh pot of coffee and got to digging. My granddad was a nut for record-keeping, thank God. As I went through the old deeds and surveys, I found something strange. The eastern boundary lines from the 1954 survey didn't match the current maps. I triple-checked the coordinates. Then my jaw dropped. The eastern strip of Stonebrook Hills, their entire parking lot, pool, access road, it was all on my land. I leaned back, let out a slow breath, and just whispered, "Oh, Karen, you messed with the wrong ranch." I called up Dale. "We've got leverage," I told him. "Let's play this slow." The next morning, I saw 3 trucks dumping garbage at my ranch gate. And who's standing there with a voice recorder? Karen, narrating like she's on National Geographic. "This is what this rancher does to us. He pollutes. So today, we send a message." I sipped my coffee, raised the mug and a little toast from the porch, then picked up the phone. "Time for phase 1, I said. Channel 5 showed up the next day, bright and early. I tipped them off. Karen couldn't resist the cameras. She pulled up in her white Lexus like she was arriving for her red carpet moment. She nearly fainted when I told the reporter I'd hired Richardson Surveying, the top land surveyors in the state. When the trucks rolled in with GPS drones and measuring gear, people started gathering. Karen tried to push them away, yelling, "Private property," completely missing the irony. By noon, half the neighborhood was out with lawn chairs like it was the 4th of July. Bill Richardson, head surveyor, called for a press conference. He stood beside a giant map and said calmly, 92 acres of Stonebrook Hills are in fact part of Morgan Ranch." The silence was deafening. Then someone muttered, "That includes the pool, right?" Oh, it did. Karen lost it. Grabbed a survey pole and slammed it on the ground. Bad move. Deputy Wallace was standing nearby. "Ma'am, that's property damage. Step back. She turned, red-faced, screaming conspiracy theories, waving her purse like a weapon. It was all caught on camera. That night, she sent a mass email. "Protest tomorrow. Defend our homes." I read it while sitting in the barn, checking on a sick calf. Called Dale. "She's organizing a protest against me on my land." He laughed. "You got those invoices ready?" At dawn, 30 protesters lined up at my fence with signs. "Save our neighborhood. Ranchers are land thieves." Karen with her megaphone, yelling like a general in a war movie. I stepped onto my porch, waited for the perfect moment. And then the process server walked up, tapped her shoulder, and said the magic words, "You've been served." She tore open the envelope. Her face shifted from confusion to fury. $2,000 a month per house? "Rent," I called out. "Backdated. You've been using my land for 2 years. People whipped out their phones doing math. One guy turned pale. "That's over $2 million. Karen screamed. "This is extortion." I shrugged. "If you could afford $1,000 a month to sue me, you can afford double to park on my property." That's when the dominoes started falling. Carol Jensen, vice president of the HOA, stepped forward. "Karen, is this true? Did you know we were on his land?" Karen didn't answer. Carol's voice rose. "You lied to us. You raised our dues for this." Residents muttered, argued, pulled out deeds. That night, the HOA meeting was so packed, people stood outside. Karen tried to block the financial review. "Attorney-client privilege," she claimed. Then Lena Cruz, the treasurer, stood up, trembling but brave. "I've got the records," she said. $73,000 to Karen's personal account, fake legal fees, shopping, car payments, and the smoking gun, a draft email titled Phase Plan, Raise Fees, Force Caleb Out, Sell Land to Developers, Split Profit. The room exploded. People yelled. Someone called for a vote to remove Karen. It failed, barely, but the damage was done. 2 nights later, security footage showed Karen cutting through my fence. Cattle escaped, wandered onto the highway. 3-car pileup. Thankfully, no one seriously hurt, but that was the last straw. Troopers arrested her at 8:30 a.m. while she packed her trunk. She screamed about agricultural terrorism and sovereign citizenship as they cuffed her. And yes, someone recorded it from the upstairs window. Viral in under an hour. Her bail was denied. Meanwhile, I installed coded gates around the 200-space lot. Residents who voted to negotiate got access. The 5 families who stood with Karen. They walked 3 blocks to get home. By day 4, even they caved. But Karen had one last card. She showed up drunk at my ranch with a baseball bat screaming, "You ruined my life." She took a swing at my truck, slipped, and landed face first in a puddle of cow dung. Poetic justice. Deputy Wallace was waiting. This time, no bail. She violated her restraining order and caught a felony. Her trial? A circus. She defended herself, argued that my cows were psychological warfare weapons. The judge didn't even blink. Guilty on all counts. Fraud, theft, trespassing, endangerment. 4 years prison. Lifetime ban from any HOA position. Full restitution. I framed the last letter she sent me from prison. All caps. Still denying everything. Still blaming everyone. I hung it in my office, right above my deed, with a little brass plaque underneath. Motivational quote. And I'll just say this. Who's trespassing now?